Wicked. So we're going to go live with Roscoe. I'm just going to mute my Mac. And yeah, we're going to go live with Roscoe on Instagram. So we're live on Zoom. Yay. Wicked. Hi, Roscoe.
How you doing?
We made it.
Yes, we did. Got there in the end.
We got there in the end. So thanks everyone for joining. We're Identification of Music Group and we're live with Roscoe. I think in week 5 of lockdown. I can't even tell you what week we're in.
7.
Seven.
Like
so
that.
Over the past few weeks, we've been catching up with our favourite underground electronic DJs, producers, platforms and brands that you guys have voted for in polls that we want to hear what they've been getting up to during the lockdown. So I guess, Roscoe, to kick things off with you, are you okay to just show us a bit of your home workspace that you're in?
Yeah, sure. So I'm stuck at my parents'. I've been living in London. I've been living in Berlin for the last 3 years with my girlfriend, and I'm stuck here. And I'll show you around the house quickly. So nice big daisy on the wall. This is my kitchen, or my parents' kitchen, and then that's the washing place. Lights are on. Very simple. My parents don't go to bed, they live by themselves now. This is my room, the guest room.
Nice.
Normal stuff.
So
I've been locked. I've been locked. I've been locked here with my parents, which has been great because I don't get to see them that much. Obviously, living abroad. So that's me.
Wicked. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about is a bit about Roscoe before he was man like Roscoe on the scene, when he was grime MC Roscoe. I didn't actually know this.
No, you didn't know. So, where I grew up, you had a choice to either become you were either into electronic music or you was into other music, punk, rock, soul, whatever. Yeah. So it's just natural progression. I grew up in an area which got like very frustrated to express yourself. There wasn't really much going on, and I just found writing lyrics and poems really, really easy. So when I got into electronic music, it was just a natural progression that I got into MCing, and then I got into a crew. We got really serious about pipe radio, and it was really a way of life. Like, we used to get picked up in a car, 5 of us with a writing pad, rhyming dictionary. We were really serious. Like, before that, I was doing professional football. I was playing at Ipswich Town and Leyton Orient. So I kind of took the professionalism out of the football and adapted it into my passion, which was music. And it was really a way of life for me. I was doing graffiti on Saturdays, then going to the pipe radio station. And we're talking like 20 years ago. So, but it's funny, it's part of me and it's still instilled in with me. You know, you could say I'm that typical people do nothing kind of character out of that. It's very true. Like that pipe radio, if anyone's watching that's into pipe radio, you know, that was where you found the latest tunes. It was just before the internet was coming out. So you had to lock into radio, you had to listen to your favorite DJs, you had to take the tapes. And then what we were doing was taking the tapes, taking them to the record stores, and that was our Shazam. That's how we was doing it. We were saying, what are these tunes? So pirate radio and being an MC plays a really important part even today. Now, even how I present myself online as well.
Classition, he was one of the first people we did this lockdown with, and he said the exact same thing from his pirate days to now.
Pirate days. I think it's like, I'm 35, so that was our culture. I mean, new ravers in the scene from 18 to 25, it's just online radio now, and everything's so accessible. But I remember, you know, Sundays 6 till 8, if you was the bad boy DJ, that was your prime time slot. So you'd have your Sunday roast, listen to that, run upstairs, and you would get your fresh beats for the week. So I mean, anyone in my age group can resonate with that. And I kind of carry that flag because we were the last of a dying breed, basically.
And there's definitely that connection between grime and, like, you can see the influences still now, even in techno, like that dubby undertone of grimy, you know, people
Yeah.
like Burial and stuff like that, and still carry that through.
I do it to this day. Like, I'll get acapellas and snippets from DEE, and I'll throw them in and chuck them over my sets. And to the most people that are not into grime, they'll just think that's part of the tune. But I'll always get those couple of messages from people that will say, what's that DEE that I heard in there?
Yeah.
And so I'm always making these connections to my past, because where I am now is because of that there. And I'm quite proud to show that. So grime is a massive. And I was doing garage before that as well. So
yeah. And is that where the term "man like Roscoe" originated from?
Well, I'll be completely honest. A very good friend of mine in fashion, Ben, if you're watching, thanks, mate. He just said to me, Ross, start a hashtag. Because you remember when Instagram kind of come out? So we're like the first generation. Like, the Instagram is we're making this up as we go along, basically. And he just said, put hashtag and think of a slogan that can represent you. And I just come up with man like Roscoe, and it just stuck from a hashtag to a brand to clothing to whatever I want to do. So again, a very natural, organic progress from being a small hashtag to a to what it is now. And it's funny, you know, when I get a post, there'll be people texting man like. So it's kind of ingrained and stuck. That's because I'm just pushing it all the time, you know, and I like that. It's cool. Sweet. Yeah.
So I guess moving on to Roscoe, the DJ producer, now in the electronic scene, you know, you're known for your long residency at Fuse, for your Circa Trova parties.
Yeah.
We spoke about this earlier, but 2016 ADE, when Fuse was that warehouse Element off Sonar, that was, I think that year was quite a good year for me going up. But do you want to talk a bit about those? So like Fuse and Circa Trova?
Yeah, so I mean, before Fuse, I'll just drop there. Before Fuse, I was actively out raving every weekend, and I had a residency at Lost Souls, which was a club at Public Life on Saturday mornings. Sorry, my phone is deciding to there we go. So I had every Saturday morning we had a residency in Public Life, which was a public toilet in Shoreditch High Street, and we were there, and I just decided to my friend, I said, we can do a party. And we ended up doing a party called Circa Trova, and this means in Italian, seek and you will find. And basically we were doing secret warehouse raves, email, text space only. This was just before Resident Advisor was coming out, only for a year. And that was super special. It was, if anybody's listening, they'll tell you, it was 3 floors underground and 3 floors, 3 doors away from Wapping police station. So we had police whizzing past all the time. Very special times. It was in the real first early part of the rave scene. You had Secret Sundays was there, Cubicle, T-Bar was still open. And then that kind of paralleled when Fuse started. And I'd known Enzo previously before, and we become friends. He come down and played at my party. And then after 2 years of basically doing my party, then we would go and party at Fuse. Enzo invited me to become a Fuse resident. I stopped Circa Trova to focus on my DJ career rather than being a DJ and a promoter. And as they say, rest is history. 11 years later, we're still doing that and recreating that within Fuse, the sub-brand. So massive part of my upbringing and background as a resident DJ in London, which, you know, we've kind of made history in a way of those seminal parties. You know, I'm sure anyone in raving in London has had a Fuse experience. So very proud to be part of that.
We spoke about this, but Fuse Village Underground, that's just like obviously 93 Feet as well. Shout outs to them, where it all started. And then, but again, thinking about Fuse, like you guys sold out off Sonar 2016. What was that venue? It was on the top of the hill, weren't it?
Yes, it's called High Fidelity Input, but when we were doing it, it was called One. So yeah, I mean we're very lucky in terms of London is such a center for all different types of, different people from all over the world. And when I'm touring around, a lot of people have always come up to me when I've been in South America, whether I've been in Spain. I was there. So what? I was at 93 Feet East, because London is a central part. So many people from outside would come in, get their experience, and then go back to their country. So then when I'm touring around, I'm connecting with people. So I don't think we realised how powerful that party was back at 93 Feet East.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is that we were just 5 guys, heads down, doing our music and sharing our passion. And I think that organic and that, let's say, innocence evolved into what it is as a big brand today. But at the early years, we were just 5 guys having a lot of fun.
And it's that thing about starting as a community and family, and then it just that natural growth. It's natural.
Massive. Well, it was born out of a recession. If you speak to Enzo, it was 2008, which was a recession, and Enzo's, if he reflects now, I don't think he realised it was, but after look at this, when we have our, when we're allowed out of our lockdown, we will probably want to go out and party and celebrate and do that. And that's what happened at 2008. It came out of that recession and Fuse was born. It was a free party. Yeah. That Enzo done it as free because no one had no money. And that indirectly opened the doors for everyone to come down. So
that accessibility, yeah. And
massive.
Then again, and someone's just commented on it, I think, heads down, hands up, because we spoke about this again. Such a sick, that's another phrase that you're just associated with. It's like a
catchphrase, catchphrase me. Well, do you know, these things just come naturally, and that comes from me being like MC, spitting them one-liners, and when I was MCing, yes, I was spitting bars, but also I was hosting. So I'm a very visualization DJ. So heads down, hands up. It's like I ask myself, what is the music? So what do you want to do? You just want to put your head down. You want to put your hand up. Yeah. And it's very simple and clear message, but I think it's the way that I present that people can appeal to it and resonate. How many times have you all been in a club and you heard that sick tune and you just go, yeah. So they're just my little catchphrases and they seem to work, I have Big Like Ben, things like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, they just come naturally, and it's fun and engagement with my fans,
Nice. So moving a bit more swiftly on, so tracks and track IDs, again, something we discussed, and we weren't actually going to talk about this, but we only spontaneously thought, let's throw this in. So obviously identification of music, group for people being able to identify music when they're out. And when we searched your name, just Mint Warehouse, DC10, 93 Feet East, Afters, what was it? What Afters was it? Was it Infuse? One of them. Just constantly coming up. And there's people in the group that are literally like, oh, sorry, that was what's that track? What's that track Roscoe played? What's that track? I need that track.
Well, I take a lot of pride in I'm not heavily focused on being a producer.
Yeah.
Now, I spend most of my time digging for music than making music. I spent 15 years being a geek instead of being a nerd. Yeah. So I really dig passionately to find those tunes that maybe stand out a little bit more. And also my years of experience of DJing is understanding everyone's got a great record collection at home, but there's certain tracks that are made for the dance floor. And when you get those things and then you put it together in the right way, that's when you can make moments, because people don't remember DJ sets, they remember the moments. And it's those moments that if you capture them, and this is what phones do, they're capturing the moments. And when I first started going out being a DJ, I was a track ID whore. I was asking, we used to have a group of us, 3-4 of us, and it would be like taking it in turns to ask the DJ, because we just love music and we were just experiencers. We never knew this. And we had to go out there with a bit of pen and paper and write it on pen and paper. So as I spoke to you before, I didn't really know that much about identification of music. I tried to stay off Facebook and this stuff as much as possible. And then when I got there was one track I played at E1 Afters. So many people Yeah, so many people were asking, and I was thinking like, why is there such hype about this? So that's why I realised this group, and it's such a great group for, not say entry level, but people that love music and just want to share music and find tunes. And there's two sides of the story. There's some DJs that are very precious that don't want to share, and obviously I'm not going to tell you all my gems, but I think it's a great platform for artists, one, to share their music, find tracks they never heard, discover new artists, and also it's a good promotional tool in this new age for DJs to get noticed. You know, maybe I've got new fans from those track IDs.
Yeah, exactly. Reaching out to a new audience.
So
you spoke about so you're at your parents', but you actually have been living in Berlin for a while. So what's the scene? I mean, we can all imagine in terms of Berlin having that household name as the city for techno and underground, but what's it like living up there and comparing the East London scene to the Berlin scene?
I think the first thing to do is, you can't compare the two, because the two cities in general are very, very different in the way that everyone lives their life. So the attitude to clubbing in Berlin is, Berlin understands that techno is a very important part of their industry. So the government and the ministers are working with clubs to make it happen, because they know if the tourism doesn't come, probably there isn't anything else that a lot of people come for. Whereas in the UK, house and techno is a nuisance, really. They see it as problems, more policing, more people going to hospitals and stuff like that. But in terms of the music, Berlin's open hours is very linear. So people really go out to listen to the music and not so much hype and focus on the DJ. So you go to Berlin and you will find serious bad boy selectors that are there just to play music. And how the UK is kind of programmed is, it's hype, it's people working hard in the week, need a big release on the weekend. And we get that from garage and drum and bass, where DJs only playing 1 hour of power. In Berlin, you've got DJs that are playing 6, 7, 8 hour long sets. So the attitude to clubbing is different to the UK. But you'll find crosses going over, and a lot of people are like, in Berlin, the garage sound has come quite big over there. And so they get the influence from the UK. And I'm sure in the UK, like myself, I'm heavily inspired by the Berlin sound. I've been going to Berghain, I've been going to Panorama Bar, and finding these new artists, and obviously record shops as well. So having best of both has really stepped my career up in terms of sound and knowledge. So I couldn't, I couldn't, sorry, I mean, my mum's in the kitchen.
Hi, Mum.
It's been a great, it's been a great experience. I've also met a lot of people in the music industry. Like, London's very fast, where Berlin is a very lower kind of pace of life, and gives you more opportunities to be creative. But I miss London a lot, actually. So
yeah, someone's just asked what clubs inspire you the most between Ibiza and Berlin.
Okay, I love Ibiza Underground. I grew up there. When I actually lived in Ibiza for 4 years prior coming to Berlin, and there was a guy called Ryan O'Gorman, and he was doing illegal parties, cave raves, basically. And so back then, before Ibiza is what it is now, it was very liberal and free, and we could do beach parties and cave parties. But Ibiza Underground, obviously DC-10, and actually one of the first clubs I fell in love with was called the Red Box in Space, which is a very small, tiny room, which was their kind of equivalent of the Underground, which is now the VIP room of what it is. In High, yeah.
I think that, I spoke about this on the day, and I was like, I don't know if I really knew it, because it's now the outside tent, isn't it? Am I getting
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I grew up going to Bora Bora, and then obviously Pasha. They used to have the Global Room, and I used to see an amazing DJ called Willie Graf there from New York, and he was playing this amazing house sound. And it was the small room. So I think I always gravitated going to these big clubs and then finding the smaller rooms with the more deeper underground. And I was just going as a raver. So I just naturally gravitated towards them. So Ibiza's been a big part of my musical education. And Berlin, CDV, Hoppertosser, Berghain. There's a great club called IOM. That's always the same.
What are your thoughts on I never pronounce it, Renata
Wilde Renata
over the bridge, at the end of Over the Bridge?
Yeah, I live very close to that. So this is what I like about Berlin, is that these places are set up there, and it's almost like a squat rave, but done legally. And so again, it's not about how the club is nice or whatever, it's more about what goes on inside. And I think as a tourist, when you go in there and you're like, this is like a squat party, that just adds to the experience of there. So I love Wilde Renata. It's a great club. I played there quite a few times as well. So
have you? I was there for New Year's, because I spent New Year's in Berlin, and they had like the 39-hour party with like Move D and stuff. And I hadn't been there for years. And then I remembered it's like a house in there, isn't it? Like all the rooms are decorated differently. You've got pianos in the outside house. I call it the outside house. It's not even a house, but it's a nice little.
You find that in Berlin, a lot of the clubs are about. There's a great club called. It's on the west side. It's called. I forgot the name, but it's all about the attention to details. You know, like in our clubs, they're like super clubs. You come in, there's the bar, that's the dance floor, that's the speakers. Pay your money, rave, go home. Again, that's because we have these laws from 12 till 6 a.m. But they need to give you an experience where you can go outside, you can chill, you can have your 10 minutes, you can buy some food, you can have a drink. So again, the attitude to the clubbing also has a reflection in the actual club itself. CDV is the same. You can go and eat a pizza upstairs. Berghain, they sell ice cream. You know, when you want to go and chill out. Berghain let you get your stamp, you can leave, and then you can come back. You don't have to pay re-entry. So I think living in Berlin, Ibiza, and London, which I call the rave triangle, I've had a really good perspective of how each music scene works, and taking all the best bits from that. Yeah,
got all the experience. That's wicked. No, that's wicked. I was just going to say, guys, if you're you're tuned in if you're listening, but post questions and comments that you might have for Roscoe, and any ideas you might have around the current industry and scene. So we're now going to talk about that, the current industry and scene. So everything that's going on right now, everyone's experiencing quite a similar thing, but for you, in terms of gigs and festivals, parties that were upcoming in the summer, how have you been impacted? Like, roughly how many gigs do you think you've had cancelled or postponed?
Well, we're all, I would probably say 12 to 15, I think, maybe even more. Everything that's in the summer has been moved. And that's had a very big impact on not just me, but the whole scene in general. No one really knows what's going on. I haven't really thought about it too much because there's nothing, it's out of my hands. I have a great agency, which is Paramount, and they're working obviously with the promoters to reschedule these gigs. But there is a very big question mark on how the rescheduling will go and the effects that will come after that, because it's not just now, it's that domino effect. So it's a very troubling time, but also it's a very good opportunity if you're sharp to recreate something. This is like the stop, so we're like restarting. So it does give scope and opportunity to other artists that maybe have been mislooked to come forwards now. So good time. For me, I see this with open mind rather than a doom and gloom.
And do you think that there's any way that the industry should be innovating? So, like, some people have suggested certain changes that actually might better the industry in terms of sustainability, giving local communities and scenes that opportunity to showcase themselves more? Yeah, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, in hindsight, it's like everyone says that we would love world peace, but it's just words. Unfortunately, what we do, and I had to learn this quite the hard way, is that when you take this as a job, it's a career. You're there to earn money to put bread on the table. And when business comes in, there's different agendas. And as long as you're very clear on what your agenda is as a DJ and what you want to say and how you want to do that, I just think right now, let me think about this. There will be a shift, but I don't know how positive. It's going to go either two ways. It's either that the top bracket are going to have a pay cut, or they don't want to do that, which then allows the next level to come up. And that comes down to promoters, that comes down to each individual DJ accepting what the outcome is. I think it kind of gives power back to the promoter, whereas before the promoter had to, or wanted DJs, the DJs had more power, but now I think it's going to shift back to what the promoter wants and that. So it's very interesting times. I'm a little bit unsure on which way it's going to go. Yeah. I guess it depends on how long we are on the lockdown for. And it also depends on how DJs react to what promoters want from them, like, will they pay for 50% more, or will they just hold out and for the other gigs? So, testing times.
And it's also, I suppose, some venues, for example, might not survive, might not be able to sustain themselves, because we don't know how long this is going on. And as you said, here it's different. So people are still paying the same rent fees for empty clubs.
Yeah. So that's like a government issue. It's like clubs are set up for the weekend, so Monday to Friday. I mean, some clubs are sharp because they'll do like corporate stuff in the middle, which kind of ticks them over. But clubs are always, clubs in general have been in decline for the last 5-10 years since the explosion of festivals. We've seen that. You only used to be, you'd only go to Ibiza to see international DJs and a few festivals like Glastonbury. Now you've got probably more festivals on a weekend than you have club nights. Yeah. So again, this all comes down to the economic system of, will the government support clubs? Will they give them financial support? Can clubs pay back that financial support? Is it worth them opening those clubs? So maybe it's just trimming the fat, and we go back to lesser DJs, lesser clubs, and more higher quality music, rather than loads of a lot of parties, a lot of DJs, and then that kind of spreads the quality thinner. Again, it's if you're an outsider, it's a great time to look at it, and being part of that industry. It is worrying, but at the moment I'm not really stressing myself too much until that lockdown comes off, because we're stuck right now. So there's other things to focus on than that.
Yeah. No, thanks for that. That was really insightful. And I guess as well, so you've got your community who are here and follow you, and so we've all seen you've been taking a step back from social and online for a bit, and actually quite a few people that we've spoken to have taken that step back to go into kind of reflective mode. So do you want to talk a bit about what you've been doing over the past few weeks, whilst you've been offline, and different mechanisms you've put in place?
If people don't know, unfortunately I lost my brother to mental health issues, and I lost my granddad to coronavirus. So it's been a really testing time for my family and myself. Naturally, I'm going to come off social media. It's not something that's needed at this moment in time. This is actually, I've been locked here at my parents' place alone. You're probably one of the first people I'm speaking to be honest. And it's been a really testing time. And yeah, I think Mother Nature, however you want to describe it, is giving us an opportunity, especially me in my situation, to reflect on my health, my life, what actually do I want, and then when, you know, the most important message that I can say is that I really hope that everyone that has thought about what they're doing with their lives and stuff, is that when it does come back on, that we carry that into our lives. Because everyone can think, oh yeah, I want to do this, and then you go back into the rat race and it goes back like normal. So again, I think we're on a tipping point of changing our, I mean, I know for sure after the experiences that I had, that how I will move on with my life. So if people in general, I've seen it on social media. I come back on today, I had a flick through, had a lot of people engaging on social media about mental health and speaking about it. So we're moving in the right direction. It's how it's the action now. Everybody's thinking about it and doing it, and it's in the head. It's like to actually do it is another thing. So let's see.
Thanks for sharing that and being honest and open and transparent. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
And again, we discussed this before. Since we've been doing this, we've had people reach out to us just being like, thank you, because that 1 hour a day I'm able to just kind of escape the news and all what's going on. So if anyone's locked in now that might be going through kind of grieving in the same way, kind of what things have you done to kind of distract yourself or keep yourself motivated? And also lots of hearts I saw as you said that. So thanks guys for
thank you. I would like to comment, like, so I put a message out on my personal and my DJ page, and what I found out is that so many people were in my position, one with mental health, and two with them losing people that does have mental health problems. So it's going on. It's a really big concern, and I know from this that I've already going to be working with some mental health charities and using my platform to give back and help people with these problems. So I really realised it's a big problem by the amount of feedback that I got from that. But in general, when it first happened, the first thing that I was doing is, obviously I used to be a professional footballer. I haven't trained for 15 years, and I just very quickly got that free time. I've been training, like, I'm training for a 5K marathon, basically. I use the BBC Couch to 5K app, which has been fantastic, where you literally is off from the sofa. I'm on to like week 3 or 4 now. So I've been keeping fit. As I said, I've been trapped here at home. Trapped, that's the wrong word. At my parents.
Hope your mum didn't hear that.
Sorry. And I've gone back to basics with my DJing. So I've got loads of old records in my shed, and I've literally been going through all my old records, going on Discogs, digging deep, and finding some amazing new tracks. So this period, I've actually restarted my record collection again. So I've got a new sound, a fresh sound. Can't wait to go back out and DJing. So in my thing, music has really been the middle part that's kept me sane. Alongside my family, it's the one bit where I can switch off the outside world and do what I love doing, and then come back to my reality, you know, because at the moment I'm adjusting to a new normal, which is going to take some time, which is difficult. But actually now my sadness, I will channel that into good through my music. So I made a decision, you know, you can go 2 ways losing a family member unexpectedly. You can go the bad way, or you can go the good way. It's 2 ways. And I looked at my family and decided, you know, that the only way is the good way. So maybe this virus come, if you can say it, the best time possible for me, because the whole world has stopped, not just me. So thanks
for sharing that. I think, Rob, did you say it was Ipswich you used to play for?
Ipswich and Leyton Orient.
And then I was going to ask, but thank you for showing all that, and hopefully anyone, if only even one person, but can take something from that and apply it to their everyday life. So I guess, again, during this time, what we've seen a lot of, and someone actually just mentioned it, is like live streams. But I've seen, so a lot of your past DJ sets have been resurfaced, haven't they?
Yeah.
and streamed. Put on
Yeah.
platforms.
So when this happened, my management team they got on board, and I said, like, take care of that. And they said, let's just share some live streams to keep the people happy. And we picked the 3 best ones, and they went really well. I think, you know, a really good reach. And I think this is a great moment for people to discover new DJs and new music. I love sharing music anyway, and it's like an indirect way of promoting yourself, you know, like you always kind of get it, people, here's my new mix, you know, not very often many people will, unless you're super fans, will want to check out new DJs. They only want to check out their favorite DJs, where now people are more open-minded to check out new people. And it's a great, you know, I've seen, let's say bedroom DJs, if you want to do that. Before the coronavirus, if you did a live stream, and this is where we see a little bit of shift in mentality, people were like, if you did it normally, oh, why is he doing that? You know, some silly comments. Now people are like, yeah, well done. So I think live streams are a great thing. And there's also
part of it of a lot of donation links. So actually there's a lot of good cause behind it in terms of for the NHS, chosen charities that people are saying, you know, watch me DJ and let's make it a bit more interesting and help.
I think people are just innovating right now. As I said, it's like we're kind of making this up as we go along. We haven't got any protocol. We don't know what we're doing. So people are finding ways to be one step ahead of the game. And you know, a very good friend of mine said something. He said, Ross, there's 3.9 billion phones in the world. That's what connects us right now, is the internet.
Crazy.
Okay, and when you reflect back on that, that's how powerful this tool can be. It's just what we choose to present on your phone. So can be live streams. It can be, you know, we saw the guy who did the 100 laps.
Yeah, Captain Tom Moore. Yeah,
massive, huge. So there are benefits, pros and cons to it. But I'm a supporter of live streams from the low end to the high end. What I'm actually really getting into is these things.
Yeah.
Is the human element of it, which I think in our industry and in general in the world is we've forgotten about the human thing, is the relationship between me and the fans. We've been going to other medium sources like we need to get a live stream on Boiler Room, and that gives us our that gives us a perception that we're this level, where now we're going direct to our fans and giving that human element. So it's a bad thing, coronavirus, but I think it's going to be a benefit in the end.
Yeah, hopefully. I agree.
So
I guess moving forward,
2021,
what can we expect from Roscoe? I know there was something you wanted to kind of tell us about, something new.
Yeah, so today I'm launching my label, Late Night Skanking. I've been banging on about it for about 2 years, to be honest. The story is that 2 years ago, we were talking about communities. I used to spend all my time digging for music late at night. And I just used to start posting YouTube tracks at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, saying Late Night Skanking. And then there used to be a little community of people who were up late at night, like me, digging for tunes. And then I kind of stopped doing it less. And then I was getting messages from people like, when's the next Late Night Skanking track coming out? Because I knew at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, it would get lost in the new Facebook.
Yeah.
And then I decided that would become a label. So unfortunately, the vinyl side and the main side has been put on hold until the coronavirus is over. But I've launched my Bandcamp label, which is there. There's an EP from Bobby O'Donnell, amazing EP, 4 tracks. There you can pre-order it now, and that's the first EP on the Bandcamp side. And I'm really proud. It's 2 years in the making, basically, thinking about it and kind of preparing it. A little bit of procrastination, but I'm finally there. So it's an exclusive, like no one knows. I thought this was a great opportunity to give back to some people. So jump on Bandcamp and check it out, Late Night Skanking.
congrats, well done.
Thank you very much.
You guys, you're the first to hear about this. And also big up Bandcamp, because the first Friday of each month they've been waiving their fees, which is huge. That's huge for artists. So yeah, hopefully that continues, and then late night skanking will be able to get some pre-orders.
Bandcamp's been great. I mean, I was always I will be using Bandcamp as my base of promotion, because late night skanking is not just a label, it's a brand. I'm doing clothing, I'm working with very, very strong brands as well. We're doing collaborations, a party series might come from it as well. So Bandcamp's great if you've got your own platform.
Yes.
So if you've got a following already, you're more likely to be more successful with it. It's a little bit difficult, but what I like is digging on Bandcamp, because you just go down a rabbit hole, because it's not like Beatport where it's like artists, genres or whatever. You have to type in the hashtags and you just get lost on Bandcamp, which brought back that element of real digging and getting lucky, where normally I'm quite militant when I'm on my Beatport or I'm on my vinyl sites or whatever, and I'm just searching artists from top to bottom, label from top to bottom. Bandcamp, you go in and then you'll pinball there, you'll pinball off of there. So I think that Bandcamp's been great. That was they didn't do anything. They didn't change anything before. It's just that now, again, this little shift, it's the perfect time for that kind of medium to be taken advantage of.
And so, I've never in my life gone onto Bandcamp and seen, when it says what people are looking at go so fast. I don't know if you were on it last Friday when they did the waiving fee, and it tells you, I guess it uses the algorithms of what you've listened to and what people, and it was literally spinning across because so many people were using it. But it's a great platform, and as you said, if you've got the brand already,
it's massive. It's great. So I'm very for Bandcamp for sure.
So we'll be checking out late night.
Yeah, go and check it. I mean, the EPs. I've been sat on the EP for about a year, and Bobby's been great with me. We've been backwards and forwards working on the tracks, and I've been rotating. So what I do is, whenever I get my tracks, I play them on the dance floor, and I let the ravers decide, because in the end, that label is house techno. It's between Berlin and UK sounds kind of merged, and Bobby's hit the nail on the head on that. So check it out. Yeah, it's good.
And then I guess 2021 we'll see a lot more coming out of it. And
I mean, from the Bandcamp side, there'll be a release every month, which is which I'm calling it VIP, which is very important producers. So this is me when I'm going out on my tours and my travel. I meet so many young, amazing producers that send me music. So there's a lot of unknown artists on there that you will discover. Obviously, the main label is a different sound. It's more Berlin, it's more techno. And my Bandcamp side is kind of giving that platform for up-and-coming artists and, serious UK producers. So, I'm so happy it's out. It's finally out.
That's really exciting. Really looking forward to hearing more from that. So the last couple of questions, I always think these parts are the hardest. So before I asked you music questions, so the first one was your track of Selfisolation. So before I play it, do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Yeah. So when I'm at home in Berlin, whenever I have any friends over, cooking a meal, hanging out, or if I just want to chill out, I put these mixes on. It's a DJ called Mark Farina, and it's Mushroom Jazz, and he's done about 8 mixes of it, and they are just seamless background jams that you can, when I'm doing my work, I can listen to if I want to chill out, if I want to cook. They're like a cut between hip hop, electronica, trip hop, and just the way he mixes them, they're timeless. Every time I go back to those mixes, they don't get old. Nice. So amazing tracks.
Right. So we'll play this one first.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. So right now, if you're £1 in the this is perfect for today in the back garden whilst you're having, having a few ciders, barbecue. These mixes are spot on.
And it is very like
amazing music. And each one of those mixes come with a full track list. And you wouldn't believe how many tracks that I've taken from there and then sampled and stuck in there. Great label.
Oh, sorry. So we can get the track list from them. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Fantastic.
And
Fantastic
then
tracks.
the second question, which this is the question that's hard.
Yeah.
Track or artist or producer that has influenced, informed you from the kind of dance, so this is now specific to dance music. So before I play it, do you want to tell us about this track?
So it's called STHLM Sound Machine. It's a track called Beautiful People. Now, this sound, even back then, about 10 years ago, I heard it. I think it's on a Circo Loco mix CD. This is at the time when Emu come out. It was like a torrent site. And I didn't even know about Circo Loco. I just downloaded this music because I put in minimal, because I was getting into minimal music. Anyway, I just discovered it, found this track, and the sound of this has kept with me in my DJ sets, and I'll still drop this tune every now and then. It really best describes my sound and how I'm influenced now, and kind of the sound of the label, which is this tribal, dark, positive, Berlin techno, house, groove, funk sound. When you hear it, you'll understand. Great track. And it gives me this vision of being on the DC-10 terrace 10 years ago. I think either Tanya Volcano played it in a mix. Maybe it was an essential mix one. And it stuck with me ever since. And it comes with me everywhere when I DJ, and best represents what I do now.
It says 2012, so that's good 8 years ago.
Yeah, maybe it's 20. That might be when it's published, unless maybe it was. I think it's like 2003.
Oh, it's 2003. 2003.
I'm showing my age now. Yeah, one of my all-time favorite classic tunes, and that's when I heard that, I said, that's what I want to do. That's that track.
You can hear the DC-10. Tanya Volcano, can definitely hear it.
That's stuck with me ever since.
Yeah. It said it's Stockholm Sound Machine. Oh, Joya Records. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And those guys I don't think they ever made another track again. It's just one of them one-hit wonders. Probably. I mean, they had a lot of amazing Swedish producers that have come out around about then. And so the Swedish sound is so high quality, and that's why that track is timeless. It can stand the test of time. It's 17 years old. Amazing track.
Roscoe, that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that chat. Those last two tracks as well. We'll actually get the links up. I mean, I don't know if you want to share, but we'll get the links up.
Please.
For the mix, and we'll get the minutes, the songs and that track, and we'll get it in the group. And I guess once this is all over, we'll hopefully we'll see each other back on a dance floor at a festival somewhere.
Come down to Infuse for sure.
So I think next year hopefully.
Fingers crossed, whenever that will be. We'll see each other on the dance floor for sure.
Yeah, wicked. Roscoe, thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you for having me, guys.
And thanks, guys, for tuning in.
On my live, I've seen so many
hearts popping up.
Yeah, hearts. I've got lots of questions here. Well, I'm learning how to do this now. But thank you guys for tuning in. Yes, it's been a difficult period of my life. I felt that this was a good time to decompress, talk to people, let you know that I'm doing well, my family's doing well, music's keeping me alive. I'm in a positive place. I'm carrying that sadness with me. The launch of my label is giving me some excitement and some focus. And really connecting back with the fans, which is what we're here for. You love music, I love music. That's why that group is created. I think it's very important that we make sure that we don't lose sight of what it is that we're here to do. And this coronavirus is a blessing, I believe, in disguise, and hopefully only good things can come from it.
100%. What
Cool.
good way to wrap up.
Yeah.
And this will be up on your story for the next 24 hours. So if there's bits that people want to listen to again, and it will be up on the IOM YouTube channel as well. But again, thanks Roscoe so much, and
no worries.
Thanks guys, and we'll hopefully see you on a dance floor soon.
See you later. Thanks for your time.
See you. Bye.